Hey, this is Michelle Kapaska, and welcome to my Fearless Innovator podcast. Thank you for joining me today. My hope is to inspire, educate, and entertain you. Enjoy the show.
For a full transcript of this episode, go to fearlessinnovator.com.
Welcome back to another episode of the Fearless Innovator podcast. From cubicles to cash flow is for everyone wanting to start their real estate adventure while you're working at your job and the desire to earn cash flow on the side using real estate. Follow me as I take you on a journey of how I went from sitting in a cubicle for 25 years to investing in real estate and earning cash flow. You will learn from my mistakes and share in my rewards. I'm Michelle Kapaska, and I'm the host of the Fearless Innovator podcast. I've been investing in real estate since 2000, and I might just know a little bit about quitting your job and becoming a full-time real estate investor. If I can help you with your real estate adventure, please reach out to me or give me feedback from my show at info@fearlessinnovator.com. Every January, since I don't know when, Tampa has hosted the Tampa RV Super Show. I believe it's called a super show because all the heavy hitters are in town in one place. Who are the heavy hitters? General RV, Lazy Days, Camping World, and Airstream of Tampa, to name a few, all of which are centrally located here on I-4, just east of Tampa. If you want to know anything RV, this is a show you must go to. Even if you don't have an RV yet, it's still a must-go show. If all you get out of it is dreaming that one day you could own a Class A Motorcoach or a more conservative pull-behind trailer, or you're looking for something to haul your golf cart or motorcycles in, this show will knock your socks off. This outfit that put this on knows exactly what everyone is looking for. Everyone that goes has their own purpose in mind. I first went years ago to evaluate all types of RVs to match my need. I went looking for a fifth wheel toy hauler. You get to compare all the manufacturer's designs and new features. The manufacturers also have their RV units on discount. So if you're looking to buy, this may be a great place to hunt for your next RV. I would be lying to you if I didn't tell you the real reason that I go. I go for the Kettle Corn. Every Iowan loves popcorn, and my favorite is Kettle Corn. This year, we were so focused on why we were there, I completely forgot about the kettle corn, nor did we even smell it because the smell would have got me. I know it was there. I saw someone eating it. I should have stopped and asked, but I didn't. You'll have to wait and see towards the end of this broadcast to see what my number one thing I learned at the Tampa RV Super Show. Why did we go to the Tampa RV Super Show? We went specifically to learn more about RV parks. How did we do that? We talked to a lot of people. We got so wrapped up in talking to everyone that we closed the place down. And in fact, we should have gone back for day 2, but we simply didn't have enough time. I'm going to give you a list of our takeaways. First off, let's talk about where is everyone coming from? Well, unless you're like me and you just walk up to someone and start talking to them to find out, just check out the parking lot. I counted 10 license plates, including Canada, as we were walking into the show. I'm sure there were others. I just didn't see them all. Of course, everyone is from the north, LOL. Of course they are. We're in Florida. Here are the states I saw: Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, New York, Maine, Michigan, Virginia, Vermont, and Wisconsin. And drum roll, please, I even saw Alaska. And then, of course, there was Canada. These same states have appeared in the RV parks that I visited. It's funny how Iowa doesn't have a grand appearance. I attribute this to Iowans like to go to Texas and Arizona for the winter, along with Minnesota and Missouri. It must be the Mississippi divide. I don't know. These same states visit my short-term rentals. So for me, it's safe to say I'm confident where I'll be marketing in the future. When you first walk into the RV show, they conveniently route you through the Airstream Display. It's a red carpet display, and it's inside and out of the weather. The day we went, it was blistering cold, so it made it nice inside. Airstream revealed its new eStream concept travel trailer. What is that? Think about it like this. Think about the green energy Tesla. Same concept, but it's in an RV. I'll leave the link so you can see it for yourself. My takeaway from this was a no-brainer. I'll need to research what type of connections they are using for the electric hookups. Once you move along the red carpet, you now enter one of the 3 vendor halls. Oh, and let me tell you, this is where the bulk of everyone hangs out, except if you're shopping for an RV. Why? Some vendors offer free stuff. If you sign up for their newsletter, they'll give you something free. I don't typically like to collect junk mail, so we only collected 2 free items. One was a fly swatter. Every RVer needs a fly swatter. So this was a very useful thing. And as luck would have it, this same vendor, which I'll share in a moment, also gave us a free t-shirt. And the free t-shirt will come in handy for sleeping in or working outside in. I'm always on the hunt for a good t-shirt. This vendor, RV Easy, caught my eye because they offer a service where I can advertise my RV on their site for rent. In other words, it's kind of like a short-term rental, but you're renting out your own RV. You might have this awesome mountain view where you could allow someone to come and stay in your personal RV. This was attractive to me because we just put in a 100 amp service in our front yard. And soon we will be hosting RV farm stays, or they can even rent out the space and bring their own. This is also applicable to RV parks. It may be an option where we purchase RVs and then place them in our parks for rent. This would allow those who have not yet decided to purchase their own camper, but it would give them the experience first, and then they could decide. Here's something else about RV Easy we found quite interesting. It's their logo on their t-shirt. It features a picture of a camper on the front of the shirt. And on this shirt, it says, "I sleep around." We definitely thought that was a catchy marketing strategy. And I'll post a picture in the notes. Another cool thing I saw this year is a lot of vendors started sharing their own QR codes on their booths. This allowed you to download either an app or information about their products. So if you're the shy type and don't like interacting with people and don't want to get stuck talking to a salesperson, all you had to do was click and keep strolling. I did this at Camp Florida. I didn't need to talk with anyone to download an app that basically has a bunch of RV parks listed in their app. This was interesting to me because I want to see parks that may be new, or it may list a park that I missed in my Google search as I search for mom and pop parks that may want to sell. This app just made it a lot easier for me to locate a park in the area that I'm looking to purchase in. And this just became a site that when I get my park, I'll be marketing it. Cool stuff. I told you from the beginning, you can go to the show and you can learn a lot. As I continue my search to find my ideal RV park in Florida, I think looking at what other RV parks has to offer is beneficial. We ran across a display that was advertising a new RV park in Webster, Florida, that we hadn't seen anything about. We collected the information on Oak Valley RV Resort, as we will be booking a stay with them in the very near future. When you go to their website, one of the first things you'll see is a YouTube video on their new fiber service. They know a lot of RVers today need and want great Wi-Fi service, as a lot of RVers today are full-timers and work from their RV, so they tout their new fiber service. It was interesting for me to learn how they set up their fiber service. It reminded me of my old IT days. What is your favorite RV app that you use to locate parks with all of your needs? Please email me at info@fearlessinnovator.com and share that with me. Okay, listeners, you got to help me out with this one. A lot of newer parks are starting to add pickleball courts. Just keeping it real, I have yet to understand the draw to this game. Believe me, I am the competitive type. And if I could have played basketball all my life, I would have, if I could have earned a living. Sorry, I digress. But here's the deal. I can't tell you how many RV parks that I've been in, and I have yet to see anyone, and I mean anyone, playing pickleball. Quite frankly, I really don't understand it either. I mean, the average age of RVers years ago was 69 years old, and today it's closer to 49. Although, along with age comes knees and hip problems. Ask me how I know. I just don't see RVers getting into pickleball. Give me your feedback on this one, because I truly want to know if pickleball is something you all are interested in. If I get compelling evidence that you all are enjoying this, then I'll consider adding it to my park. But for now, I'm going to hold off. But email me again at info@fearlessinnovator.com and give me your feedback. After a couple of hours in the vendor hall, we ventured outside to go look at all the new designs and features the manufacturers had to offer. Wow, is all I got to say. Not only were the upgrades fantastic, but there were new manufacturers that were focused on green technology. There were some manufacturers focused on new travelers on a budget. Some units even had a tent on one side for the kids, and inside was more for the adults. The point is, they have RVs and coaches for your desired purpose in all shapes and sizes. As we were turning the corner looking at tons of RVs, out of the corner of my eye, I see a guy carrying a camera and filming who I believed was his wife. I said to myself, that looks like a YouTuber. So being the shy person that I am, I walked over and I said to him, that just reeked of YouTube. And the girl giggled and she said, yes, we actually do host a YouTube channel. I said, that's too funny. Then she said, the name of it is Enjoy the Journey. And I said, okay, cool. She then went on to ask us questions about our journey in RVing. And once she learned that we were full-timers and said, would you mind sharing a bit of your story and then giving us credit for the show? And we said, of course we would. So we did a little segment and it was fun. But in complete transparency, I had never heard of Enjoy the Journey. And this was a complete random event that occurred. So I wasn't starstruck or anything like that. But I do now subscribe to their show. They have over 158,000 subscribers. Who knew? And another little tidbit, just for clarity, we actually ran into these folks at a much smaller RV show. It wasn't the Tampa RV show, but I thought it was worth telling you that. I can't tell you how many people we did run into that day at the Tampa RV show, but I will tell you about two of my favorites. When I say we ran into them, it was more like they actually ran into me. I have this tendency to check out what you're wearing. And if you have something that I either recognize or just happen to know something about, I will strike up a conversation with you. So expect it. So Kurt and I were in line to get something to drink, and I see this couple. Their doggie was a German short hair and had on a sweater that matched the guy's hat. It said they were Iowa Hawkeye fans. Well, you bet I hollered out, "Go Iowa!" The guy smiled, and then I asked, where were they from? And they were from Eastern Iowa. And of course, they were super friendly, just like all Iowans are. We actually hung out with them for several hours. And then the guy says, hey, you want to come see the RV we picked out? And we said, of course we do. So we followed them over to their RV, and they took us over to an RV. It was called the Road Warrior by Heartland RV. Heartland, go figure, Iowa. The specific model was an RW414. I'll put the link in my notes. Gosh, when Kurt and I looked at this model, we immediately went into dream mode. This model fits our needs to a T. It's a toy hauler with plenty of room for the bikes. The kitchen has a lot more space than our current one. The seating area is comfortable for 4 people to sit and visit. Our current model, not so much. The best feature was the king bed versus our now cozy queen bed. But even better, there was room to walk around the bed. Keeping this in perspective, we were just dreaming, and we will afford a change much later down the road. We are comfortable for now. Although I will tell you that in comparison to other models from other manufacturers, the discounts with this one was worth considering. I decided to poll this couple and find out what they most desired in an RV park. Here are their top 2 choices. Pool was their number 1. And number 2 was to have plenty of activities. And activities did not include pickleball. Bingo. Oh, I didn't mean play bingo. I meant I can't find anyone that likes it. So help me out here. What's your favorite feature that you look for in an RV park? I'll give you a hint what mine is as I work out of my RV. It's high-speed internet with as many Wi-Fi connections I can get. Our RV currently has 3 TVs, 2 cell phones, 1 computer. So I need at least 6 connections. So later on, I noticed this older gentleman who had on a Jimmy Johnson hat and a shirt. Now, of course, Jimmy had been my number 1 driver in NASCAR since 2002. He's since retired, so I found it interesting that this gentleman was still representing. I approached him and I said, "So how's Jimmy Johnson doing these days?" And he jokingly said, "Ma'am, I got this shirt at a garage sale." He goes, "We didn't follow him. We were more into drag racing." Man, I got a chuckle out of that. We learned that they were good bikers back in the 70s when biking wasn't cool. He said, "We didn't hang with them gangs, you know." I said, "Oh, yes, I know all about that." And they were at the show looking for their next RV. Super cool couple. Now, my favorite thing I learned at the show may not be sexy to you, but it sure lit me up. While we were in the second vendor hall, I think, we ran across CampSpot. CampSpot is a software that many parks use to manage not only their camping store inventory, but their RV spots. They have unique algorithms that can move your RV spot inventory around to wisely manage the inventory most efficiently. While we were in Waukee, Iowa this summer at Timberline Campground, the park owner there, Marta, had told me about CampSpot. So I had actually saw a demo of it in action, and I was able to bang some ideas around with Marta. So to run into them at this event was epic. There were 2 ladies in the booth. One was focused on marketing their product, and the other lady was very helpful as she was on their development team. It's not that often that a company will client face a member of its development staff. Developers are usually not client facing, and they do their best work when everyone else is sleeping. So I took advantage of the opportunity and shared with her the IT specific functionality that I would like to have at my park. I bet I pelted her with 20 to 30 different ideas. As expected, she'd have to take my ideas back to the development staff, but I did learn more about how their software worked and how possible workarounds they may have for the functionality that I need. This encounter just made my day, and it made me more hopeful that my park design one day will become reality. That concluded our Tampa RV Super Show experience. Remember, if you have any great ideas you'd like to see in an RV park, I'm your girl. Reach out to me at info@fearlessinnovator.com. I'd love to share your ideas or maybe even interview you on a future show. I'll see you next Thursday on the Fearless Innovator podcast. Thank you for listening today. I hope you enjoyed the show. If I can help you invest in your future, reach out to me at fearlessinnovator.com. Catch me later.